Hey guys, so in this video we're going to do an unboxing of a LOREX camera security system, and I'll show you a little bit of how I set it up in my own home. But don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get started. Alright, so here we go. I'm in a hall closet because I'm going to be running the wiring from my attic down inside of this closet through a wall into my bedroom where my security camera monitor is going to be. So what I'm doing is I'm just drilling a hole up, making sure I'm not hitting any studs, and I'm going to use this fishing rod, which a lot of you electricians may know, which you use to fish electrical wiring through a house or what have you. So I'm going to use this, shove this up into that hole, making sure that I'm not going to be hitting anything. I end up crawling up in the attic and seeing kind of where everything is, making sure that I have room to make that larger hole for the wiring to drop through. So that's all I'm doing right here. Right after that, I end up going up into the attic to confirm that. Here I'm using an oscillating tool so I can open that hole up, just make it a little square. Now you can add something that I add later on as far as the wiring in that goes through the wall. I put it in the bedroom. I don't put it here, but you could buy a few of these little outlets, you might say, that look a little bit better than what I did here. So make sure you guys take a look through the whole video to see what I'm talking about. So this is where I'm making my hole to run it through the wall into my bedroom. Now I'm going to take measurements. That way I make the hole inside my bedroom straight across from this hole. And that's all I'm doing here. And don't forget, I'm going to leave in the description below the exact camera system that I'm using here if you guys are interested in that. So now I'm inside the bedroom. I'm making these same marks as far as the measurements went inside my closet. I'm making the same marks right here with a very expensive measuring tape, as you can see. Then right after that, I'm going to go to my oscillating tool and just cut a small hole, just making sure I'm straight across from that other hole. I'm going to end up making this bigger so I can put that little outlet cover and run the wiring through that here in a little while, but yeah, I'm just kind of starting everything like that. And there we go. You'll see we are straight across from the hole in the closet. So each end of the cable is different, and only one end of this cable can plug into the camera. So you got to make sure when you're feeding your cable through your attic and your walls and everything that you're going to be putting the right end through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check which end goes through. You can see this here is the right one. This one would not work. So this is the side that I want going to the camera. And I'm just going to kind of mark that end by just kind of putting a small little knot in that, just to kind of remind myself which end I'm taking to the camera. So aside from making the small little tie in the end that my camera is on, I'm also going to mark each cable with its own individualized number. So when I pull it through, I know that this is going to be 1, and this next cable will be 2, and I have that marked on both sides. So then I can kind of write it down, which camera goes where, and plug it in accordingly. So now I'm on the outside of the house, and I'm putting my fishing rod together so I can remove the soffit. By remove, I just mean I'm going to pull down the outside of it, and then I'm going to run this fishing rod straight up into my attic. Then eventually what I did not film is me crawling up into my attic and then hooking up the wire to this fishing rod, coming back outside, and then pulling it out to where my camera is going to be. So I do this for each and every camera. It takes a little while, but yeah, that's how you do it. So here is where I mount the cameras. I got this idea off another YouTuber. Great idea. I can't remember who it was, but yeah, this is not my original idea. I got it off another YouTube person. So I got some aluminum slats from either Lowe's or Home Depot. I can't remember which at this point. I've had this system for a little bit, and I put the little template down on it. As you can see, it doesn't fit it absolutely perfect, but it is fine for the holes. You just kind of offset it a little bit. I pre-drill my holes, peel that off, and you'll see me. I take the camera off the base here in just a second. That way it allows me some room so I can put the screws in, put that wire back in there, because it does have like a little hole area for the wiring to fit through, so the wire's not being squashed by the base at all. Put these screws in, flip it over, and then I cut these screws off. And I do this because I didn't want to put 2x4s up in my soffit and all that stuff. So what this will do is, you'll see in a second, is I just slide this up into the soffit, and that way if I ever decide to move the camera somewhere else, it's not going to be that big of a deal. I don't have to mount a new 2x4 or anything like that. I literally just take that whole base, unclip my camera, and then I can put it somewhere else. Another thing I don't show is I did put holes in my soffit for the wiring to fit through right where I'm going to be putting up my cameras. And right here I'm just hooking up my camera. I'm putting some electrical tape around the connections. So here I am, I'm putting the soffit back together. One thing I forgot to mention is the slat, the aluminum slat. I got a long piece. I can't remember how long it was, 6-8 feet, something like that. And I cut each one individually, making sure that I cut it to the proper length that would fit into the soffit. But you can see me putting it up in the soffit. It's really easy. It slides in one side and then you slide it around the other side. So it worked out very well. I'm still using this system, and I think I did most of this filming like a year ago, almost exactly a year ago, and I just never had time to put this up. But now I'm just adjusting the camera, and you'll see that there's a small piece of film on the cover of the lens here in a second. So if you're putting this up, make sure you leave it on until you're about to get started. That way you don't scratch the lens anywhere, and you should see me pull it off right there. And there you have it. Now this is the little outlet that I was talking about. You can fit a lot of wiring through it, and it'll dress up that hole in your wall a little bit better so it doesn't look as bad. And as I said before, you could have used this for each one of those holes. It's whatever you want to do. So now I use that little template that I cut out, trace around it on the wall. I'll get that little oscillating tool out here in just a second, and then cut out the hole. So here I go. Just making sure that I stay on the lines, that way I don't mess it all up. It's kind of like a little butterfly. It'll slide in there, and then you tighten the screws and all that. But you see how it fits. I pull the wires all the way through, and I used like a little rubber band or an elastic band, making sure that I didn't have to feed through the wires one at a time. Take apart that band, and then I start feeding it through that outlet cover before I even mount it. Just made it a little bit easier for me. Getting them all fed through. And just pull all the wiring all the way through before I ever get to that mounting part. Put it in, screw it in, and that's it. Dresses up real nice. So unfortunately, over the course of time, I've lost a lot of the footage that I had when I was setting everything up. But what you will see here is mostly what I did to run the wiring through my house. So I think that's the main thing. What I don't have is the setup for, as far as the wiring goes, to the recorder itself, but there is an instruction manual for how to do that. It's pretty much just wiring in, so it's not a big issue at all. So that's really all you're going to miss here. And in a second, I'll show you what my monitor looks like as far as the cameras and everything. But I just wanted to make that clear that that part is not shown in the video. Apologize for that. But let's take a look at what the cameras look like on the monitor. Okay, so here's what the cameras look like right now. It's kind of in the evening. What time is it?
It shows on the screen. 5:15.
Oh yeah, shows on screen. There we go. So this is what they come up as with my little mouse here. And it's kind of dark, so you can't see. I'm trying to leave the lights off so you guys can actually see this stuff. But what I can do is I can bring each camera up by itself like this, and you can kind of see what's going on. You can see my front porch over here, so it looks pretty darn good. You can see my neighbor right over here. He's going to his house. He's getting evicted, and mind you, this is a very small 2-bedroom house, and that's a lot of stuff. Anyway, there's another picture of the chaos. I'll just kind of go through some of these images, and this is just around my house. You see kind of the crosshair right here. Pay no attention to the grossness. My neighbor on the back side. Here's our backyard. You see all the way to the next street over. Our little chicken coop, which the chickens must be inside right now. It's kind of cold. They've been hiding underneath the shed here recently. But you can see we've got everything kind of packed up for the winter. As I'm filming this this part of the video, we are in January. And here's the other side of my backyard here, which is more like a side yard, but there you go. But you can see it looks pretty darn good. I can zoom in if I want to, certain areas. I can see that pretty well. See, I'll go to another one. Let's do that with this one here. So I got my neighbor up there hanging a light because this is obviously going to be out here another night. And mind you, he's got 2 trucks already full, and that did not even make a dent. But you can zoom in pretty far. There's the little lady there. Yeah, Jake. So, wanted you to see what this looks like. I'll do another one tomorrow. That way when it's more sunny you can see what it looks like. And I'll do one at night so you can see what that looks like. But here's an idea of what it is. So here we have it. This is just me walking into my front door. That way you can kind of see what it looks like with a person. And this is kind of in the evening, I guess. My light on, so That's what that looks like. And here is our nighttime view. Now some of these, because of the amount of lighting that I have, it stays in color, but you can see that a lot of them, oh look, you can see a little kitty cat. Some of them are in night vision. So on my front porch, this is still currently in light just because of how bright my front porch lights are. You can kind of see that. And then my backyard, there are absolutely no lights right there. That's just the night vision for the camera itself. So that one doesn't look as great because that bush, it's getting a lot of reflection. This one is another one that's in color. So let's take a look at my phone access. Here, play, and now this is a live feed from my house. Just kind of scroll through, seeing the different cameras. All on my phone. I can access this wherever I'm at. So I just wanted to give you guys a look at what that may look like on your phone. Alright, that's it for the video. Hope you guys like, hope you guys subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.